Hello friends, today I'm going to be explaining you my project Plant Helpline, which is based on a Raspberry Pi program written in Python language. Introduce you to the different things I've used for the project. Firstly, the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is the main electronic device I've used for the project. The Raspberry Pi is connected to the HDMI output cable, the power supply cable which is going to supply power to the Raspberry Pi, and the mouse and keyboard USB cables. This is the relay switch. The relay switch is going to turn off and on the motor whenever the signals come from the Raspberry Pi to it, instructing it to on and off. These are the jumper cables. Jumper cables send signals or electrical impulses from one pin to the other side. These are the GPIO pins which I am going to be using. This is a soil moisture detector. The soil moisture detector detects the presence or absence of water in your plants. This is a submersible pump which is going to be placed inside water for it to water the plants. Let me show you how the software is going to work. Firstly, we need to be hosting a website for us to be able to control it through a web browser. As you can see here, this is the website address on which the plant helpline is working on. Now let me go to the website. Here you can see the plant helpline. It also shows you the server's time and date. There are 5 options available over here: turn on water watering, turn off water watering, check soil status, water once, and last time watered. Check soil status allows us to see whether the soil is dry or wet. Let me show you how. First, I'll place a soil moisture detector in the dry mud. Now if I click check soil status, it is going to come water may please, which means the soil is dry. If you see here, you can see there's only a single light blinking. Now when I place it in the wet mud, it's going to detect water and show 2 lights. You can see here. Now if I click check soil status, it's going to come I'm a happy plant. Check last time watered allows us to see when the plant was last watered. As you can see here, it shows you the time at which it was watered. Water once will allow us to water the plant once even though it is wet or dry. You can see it has shown watered once. The main part of the project plant helpline, auto watering. When I click on auto watering, it's going to constantly detect the presence or absence of water in the soil. It's going to send signals to the Raspberry Pi and from Raspberry Pi to the web server. Now I'll click on auto watering. It's detecting the presence of water. You can see there are 2 lights on, which means the plant is a happy plant. Now when I remove this, the pump is going to turn on. I'll place it back into the soil. There you go, it stops. Now when I remove it, put it in the dry, it's going to turn on. And back into the wet soil, it again stops. Another important part of the project is using this without any cables in another computer. In the previous case, I had used HDMI cables which was connected to the monitor. This time I'll be using a laptop which is not going to use any wires to connect to my Raspberry Pi, but still I'll be able to use. First I shall go to my IP address of the Raspberry Pi. Now I'll going to log in as Pi. It's going to ask for a password. I'll enter the password. You can see it's done. Now I shall be going to a VNC server. Clicking on my Raspberry Pi, it's going to connect. It's again going to ask the same password. Now you can see that's my monitor, and now it's connected to this. Over here I shall go to the web browser once again. There you go, it's on. Now I'll click on this. See, now check soil status. I'm a happy plant because it's in the wet soil and there are two lights. Now water once. When I click water once, it's going to turn on. As you can see, it's not connected to any wires for this laptop, but still I'm using it because it's connected to the internet, and through this the farmer can communicate with his plants from any part of the world to his fields. Also decrease the humongous task of him going to the fields and watering the plants. Thank you for watching.